Business, Honorable Mary Kylie Francine B. Tripolca, absent. Madam Chair, there is a quorum.
The 47th regular session of the 13th Sangguniang Panlunsod is now called to order.
Prayer.
Next item.
Of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion. Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice. Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise. Give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good. Give us the facility of language that we may be understood. And finally, our Lord, make us worthy public servants of this city. We deeply love and highly honor Naga City, the heart of Bicol. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Next item.
Pambansang awit.
Bayang magiliw, handa awit.
May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng wataw at ko'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw na kailan pang may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng malapit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang hiraya na may mga api, ang pamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Again, good morning. Next item.
Privilege time.
Anybody who'd like to avail of the privilege time? Okay, Honorable Mila Rakit Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, my esteemed colleagues, this August Chamber, friends, guests, good morning. I take this privilege this morning to share with you a video that I have taken showing how it is possible to plant vegetables despite lack of space in our midst. This is particularly in connection with the ordinance we have just passed, the ordinance on our continuing fight against COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. In our ordinance, we said that one of the ways to fight infections is the boosting of our immune system. And studies have long established that vegetables, green leafy vegetables, strengthen our immune system. That's why we required under our ordinance each household to plant vegetables, particularly green leafy ones, year-round. And we have also directed the City Agriculture Office to formulate a mechanism to which reward may be given for model backyard or household garden in whatever form they may be, as a way of promoting health in the city, particularly teaching also our children to love eating vegetables. Nakulong po kaya sa mga kaakian tangon yan dahil na talaga nagkakarakan gulay. And some parents even find it cute that they don't like gulay. No? But that's really just the entire opposite of it. So may I share with you, my dear colleagues, Madam Presiding Officer, short video that I have taken in a particular household where it was made possible the planting of green leafy vegetables.
Thank you.
Example po ito ng wall gardening, no? Hindi natin pwedeng hindi nga siya pwedeng backyard gardening, wall gardening. Para ipakita lang po natin na sa mga dingding-dingding, pwede po talaga tayong maghalaman. Wala naman po sigurong pamilyang walang dingding. Lahat po may dingding kasi may bahay. Di po paano, kahit anong itsura ng bahay mo, may dingding ka. So, pwede yung ikabit. Example ito, mga ganyan po sila, yung pagka maliliit pa sila, no? Nakakabit lang sa dingding, sa wall. So makikita po natin, napakaliit na espasyo, pero yung mga tanim were made possible. So ito na po yung ngayon na yung ready for harvest na meron silang dito po ito sa kapatid ng asawa ng kapatid ko sa kanyang pamilya. So ito yung ampalaya. Actually nagluto na kami nito. Sarap-sarap, hindi mapait. Yan, may mga bunga na. At ito, alugbati. No, napaka-importante po ng alugbati. Napakasustansya, lalo na sa pagpalakas ng immune system natin para hindi tayo tablan ng COVID, ng mga virus and infection. So mag-harvest po tayo para lang mapakita. At ito, igugulayin na mamaya. Anong isahalo mo dito, Jerry?
Sardinas po.
Sardinas,
Sardinas.
oh, sarap-sarap, no?
Yan po.
Kahit sardinas lang, magiging masustansya. No? So ito, kulay ni Jerry. Kaya lang, alis na ako kami mamaya, hindi na kami makakatikim nito. Pagbalik na lang namin.
Yan, anihin nyo na po yung ang palaya.
Ang palaya, pwede na
Opo.
ba ito nanihin?
Pwede na po yan.
Natin ang palaya ni Jerry. Sa backyard lang, sa wall lang, no? Sa dingding ng bahay. Okay, so meron mo siyang talong, no? Ito, talong. About isang paso, no? Improvised paso, isang talong, luya, ito sitaw, pag namunga, mga kamatis, syempre, and sili, syempre, lalo sa atin sa Bicol.
Dada.
Sili, pwede ho, ang dahon, di ho ba, ginagamit natin sa munggo, pati yung bunga, gusto natin lagi maanghang, mga Bicolano tayo, lalo na, malunggay, nandito lang. Although ang malunggay, pwedeng kahit saan, no? Talagang bawat bahay mayroong malunggay. Nakakatuwa itong mga kamatis, oh. Oh, ito, dragon fruit. No? Nasa wall lang. Pipicturean din natin to pagka nagbunga na. Para mas mapakita na rin natin. Ito, gagawin pa rin ni Jerry. So yung wall, pupunuin niya ng mga tanim. So tingnan, pakita nga natin paano niya ginawa ito. So yung mga bote ng Coke or soft drinks, no? Kabit lang dyan. Tapos dito. Ano ito, Jerry? Punlaan or tanim na talaga?
Tataniman na lang po, ready na. Yun na po yung mga pinagpunlaan.
So yun ang punlaan niya.
Ito po, punlaan. Opo. Tatanggalin ko lang itong para mapicturean nyo yung lumaki na
Dito pwede mo, habang may mga nakasampay kang labahan mo, may mga tanim ka.
Opo.
Diba?
Kukunin ko lang po itong mga para makuha nyo.
Lahat po posible. Wala akong imposible. Yung pechay.
Petchay.
Oo. Yung pechay. oh.
Nakabitin.
Para
Opo.
pupunta pa tayo sa palengke para bumili lang ng 4 na pechay.
Okay.
Nasa likod lang natin sila, nasa dingding lang natin, o nakabitin. Ang ganda talaga.
Highlight.
Ito ho, oh.
Nakabitin.
Oo. Nakabitin na tanim.
Kaya naka-highlight. Yan.
Nag-video ba siya? Nag-video. Okay.
Pati pantal na
May pantalin ka dyan.
Oo nga, para di ba, para mapakita talaga na nasa bahay mo pwede ka. Tingnan natin ito, Joy. Tingnan mo, binutasan niya sa sides. Oh. Oh. So, ang question ko dyan, Jerry, pagka malaki na siya, hindi pa siya matutumba yung gaganon?
Hindi mo, tutulungan mo na lang siya ng tali lang.
Tatalian mo na lang para nakatayo siya.
Opo. Tali lang.
Napakaganda niyan, napaka ano yan.
Katulad po nito, nilagyan ko na ng tali kasi ito, ano na, bibigat na po siya eh. So pag bumigat ka, lalagyan ko ng tali na pwedeng pag-anuhan. Ayan,
Para
ganyan.
nakatayo siya,
Para
tapos
hindi mo
gaganan na siya. Ito ay mga lumang goma. Ito yung stand ng electric fan, no? Yung mga lumang stand ng electric fan. Yung ganyan. Galing?
Para may tira, may
O, para naman ho doon sa gusto mo ring may flowers din, no? Para hindi lang din puro gulay. Para
yan, pag ganyan.
nakakasaya din pag may nakikita kang bulaklak.
Ay, syempre.
Pwede rin bulaklak. No? So,
Nakakaroon din ng bulaklak.
ganda. Galing. So, kung bawat bahay po merong ganito, siguradong lalakas ang resistensya ng mga tao, lalo na ho ng mga bata. No? Habang lumalaki sila, matuto talaga sila kumain ng
Nagbibigay
gulay.
sigla din, eh, ano?
Importante ang mga bata ko ngayon, hindi na talaga marunong kumain ng gulay. So, kailangan talaga turuan natin kumain ng gulay. Okay? So, maraming salamat, Jerry, sa pagbibigay mo ng example.
Sige po.
So, maraming salamat. Okay? So, thank you very much, my dear colleagues. In connection with this, I would like to move that we include in our agenda, with the indulgence of the Chair of the Committee on Rules, a directive to the City Agriculture Office to report to the Sanggunian the steps it has taken in implementation of the mandate given to it under the ordinance that we have just passed on our continuing fight against COVID-19 and infectious diseases. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and once again, good morning.
Thank you, Honorable Miles Rakid Arroyo, the model of the Taniman sa Bakod. We'd like to acknowledge the presence of Honorable G. Rosales. Okay, next item. Honorable Elmer,
Reading.
anybody else would like to avail of the privilege time? None? Okay, next item.
Reading and approval of the order of
Honorable Elmer Valdemoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the order of business with the following inclusion. Under special business or order, item number 2 is the endorsement from the City Budget Officer endorsing the annual budget of Barangay Pacol. Item number 3 of the special business or order is the proposed resolution authored by the Honorable Gil Rosales, resolution directing the City Planning and Development Office to submit to the Sangguniang Panglungsod the status report on of the implementation of the integrated Naga River Rehabilitation Project and proposed measures for consideration by the City Development Council to utilize the Naga River Rehabilitation and Development Fund in accordance with the approved development plan and the purpose for which the fund was established. Item number 4, Madam Chair, is the matter of the privileged speech of the Honorable Mila Rakid Arroyo. Under unfinished business, item number 3 is the committee report of the Committee on Appropriation. Item number 3A is the proposed resolution sponsored
Nasa session na ako.
by yours truly, resolution authorizing His Honor the City Mayor to enter into memorandum of agreement with the Health Learning Center Foundation Incorporated relative to the financial assistance in the amount of 1,500,000 pesos. Item number 4 of the unfinished business is the committee report of the Committee on People Empowerment. Item number 5 is the committee report of the Committee on Public Utilities. Item number 6 is the letter from Punong Barangay Jose Peñas III requesting for a extension of 5 days to submit his reply. Item number 7 is the letter from Market, Enterprise and Promotion Office pertaining to the directive of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. Under new business, Madam Chair, item number 3 of the new business is the proposed ordinance authored by the Honorable Gil Rosales, an ordinance ensuring an updated directory of accredited civil society organization by requiring the submission of an annual accomplishment in the status report to the Sangguniang Panglungsod, prescribing a penalty for the violation thereof. Item number 4 is the letter from the Executive Director of the Naga City Investment Board submitting the proposed revision to the Investment Incentives Code. Item number 5 is a letter from Mrs. Virginia Buesa requesting for an e-trike franchise. Under other matters, Madam Chair, item number 4 is a letter from Punong Barangay Cyrus Caballero requesting for a transfer of fund on their cash award in the Outstanding Nutrition Program. Item number 5 is the DALG memorandum pertaining to the minimum specification for ICT equipment and internet services to schools, teachers, and learners. I so move for its approval, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, the agenda is approved as amended.
Order of business, special business or order, the endorsement dated June 9, 2020 from the Honorable City Mayor endorsing the memorandum of agreement with the Barangay Council for the protection of children of Igualdad relative to the transfer of 100,000 pesos cash award in the search for most child-friendly barangay to cover the purchase of one set computer for ratification.
Honorable Elmer Valdemoro.
Madam Chair, we already passed resolution number 2020-112 authorizing the City Mayor for the memorandum of agreement between the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children of Igualdad. This pertains to the cash award of Barangay Igualdad amounting to 100,000 pesos. And the document that was submitted is completed in form and substance. So may I move, Madam Chair, for the passage of a resolution ratifying the memorandum of agreement.
Second. Okay, approved. Next item.
The endorsement from the City Budget Office endorsing the annual budget of Barangay Pacol in the amount of 11,500,997 pesos.
Honorable Rosales, Chair of the Committee on APRO.
In the same way that we have approved on joint and collective motion the budgets of the previous barangays who were endorsed by the City Budget Officer, may I also move on joint and collective motion for the approval of the annual budget of Barangay Pacol involving the amount of 11,500,997 pesos in joint and collective, Madam Chair.
On joint and collective motion, approved. Next item.
The proposed resolution of the Honorable Hilje Rosales request of directing the City Planning and Development Office to submit to the Sangguniang Panlungsod a status report of the implementation of the Integrated Naga River Rehabilitation Project and proposed measures for consideration by the City Development Council to utilize the Naga River Rehabilitation Development Fund in accordance with the approved development plan and the purpose for which the fund was established.
Honorable Rosales.
Madam Chair, this proposed resolution emanated from an audit observation memo which the Sangguniang received last March, with the observation that the Naga River Rehabilitation Fund was improperly utilized from the calendar years 2014 to 2019. So as the chair of the Committee on Appropriations, I took the pains to do some research about how the fund started and ano po sitig po nan kaini from the very beginning. And ang concern ko man lang po talaga, Madam Chair, is every year it became apparent that there was a recurring problem because yun na po nga ni sina-obserbaran kang Commission on Audit, and they also raised doubt on the effectiveness of the planning and monitoring system for the said fund. So This proposed resolution directs the City Planning and Development Office, which is also mandated under the Local Government Code, to monitor and evaluate the implementation of different programs, projects, and activities prioritized by the city government. Upon my research, Madam Chair, since 2010, igwa na pong naipasar na resolution ng Sangguniang Panglungsod declaring that the Naga River Rehabilitation Program be a prioritized project by the city government. I'd like to believe that it did not cease to do so until now. That is why the Naga River Rehabilitation Fund remains to be a continuing appropriation. So, my another concern is mapuun na naman po kita kang sa tuyang budget year, and if we will not take the time to reassess, it will remain to be a problem until the following year. So, this proposed resolution of this representation, Madam Chair, and I reiterate my motion.
Any
So
second to
moved.
the motion? Before the second, is that an objection?
Comment, Madam Chair.
Comment.
Siguro, magayon po itong ni Kagawad Rosales. Alagad, garo dahil kita matlawan ng substance kung city planning lang ang ma-report kayan. Dapat maaraman ta sa budget office kung pira na ang pundo katong sa river. Napigpasal bagay ni kaito ni Atty. March Takidaroyo na perming may pundo kita sa river. Alagad, during the past administration, City Mayor, Madam Chair, baga po ang chairman ng Project Monitoring Committee. Ako ang vice chairman, ako ang co-chairman. However, during this administration, pig-face out ang Project Monitoring Committee. Dahil, whatever reason, I do not know. Siguro dahil ika na, ang Vice Mayor, pwedeng ako na maging chairman ng Project Monitoring Committee, si ibang mayor hindi garo kaya pig-face out.
Si ibang mayor pa nila.
Kaya, dapat siguro bako lang itong City Planning and Development Office, kundi itong other agency, maaraman ta kumpira si budget na dahil hindi pagkakaltasan ang budget up to the present time, Madam Chair.
Is the proponent agreeable to the suggestion of the Honorable Castillo?
Just for the information of the Sanggunian, Madam Chair, there was an executive order recently issued by the City Mayor newly constituting the Project Monitoring Committee.
Yes.
As part of the City Development Council, I was also
A member.
I was also around during the meeting for which the Project Monitoring Committee was constituted. And pag-abot po naman sa concern ni Honorable Castillo about involving the City Budget Office, I have no problem with that, Madam Chair. I would just also like the body to know na bago ko po iniyutig draft ining proposed resolution, naghapot-hapot man po ako sa City Planning and Development Office, City Budget Office. In fact, nag-chat nga niya ako duman sa dati pong mayor to find out what really happened. Kaya lang day po ako na satisfy sa mga simbag. Kaya gusto ko maaraman kung ano nangyari, why the project was not pursued. In my research, Madam Chair, from 2010 to 2013, kadakulan pong inagihan yung proyekto ini, nagkaigawa pang feasibility study, nagkaigawa pa dang pa-contest kung in fact, there was already an initial design concept. Kadakol na pong nagruluwas ng mga plano. So, di ko lang po aram kung ano nangyari. And gusto ko pong magtubod na ining Naga River Rehabilitation Project was the basis for which the fund was established. Ngunyan, the fund is still existing, but sa hiling ko po katong project, kadakol man pong day na implement naman eh. So gusto ko pong maaraman if what will be the direction in the next years pag-abot po sa program na ini and especially in the utilization of fund. Kadakol po kitang mga project na ipig-charge naman sa fund which is not in accordance for which the ordinance established the said fund. So, in fact, sa pag-ulay ng bingani po ni City Budget Officer, in a verbal conversation, nabanggit niya that he was suggesting for the repeal of the ordinance of the Honorable Arroyo. Kaya lang sabi ko, baka di pa man necessary. Kaya po hanta mo na mag-reassess para maaraman ta kung saan talaga ang direksyon. Even though we have a new administration now, sailing ko, kung data man idadagos, at least maaraman ta kung ano talaga. So, iman lang po yan, Madam Chair, ang sakuyang
So
are
you're
concern.
not agreeable to the suggestion of the
Pwede man po,
Honorable
Madam Chair.
na ibali ang City
Directing
Budget
the
Officer
City
to render
Planning
a
and
report?
Development and City Budget Office. Pwede man po, Madam Chair.
So, okay, Honorable Del Rosario first, and then Honorable Del Castillo. Comment?
Hello. Thank you.
Presence of the Honorable Mary Carl Francine Trifulca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated by Councilor Rosales, diyan sa saro sa mga whereases niya, pigpunan niya ng resolution niya because of the audit findings by the Commission Audit. No? So, matandaan ta, Madam Chair, we receive at least siguro mga 2 o 3 audit findings covering several items sa ano ta. And nakataon na sibot kita because of the pandemic. So, I think it's high time na to hear feedbacks from the different department heads kung ano si actions in the relative to the findings of the COA. One of which is yun na ning pigbasihan ni Councilor Oying. So I think, Madam Chair, tama si Councilor Vidal, not only the CPDO, siguro pag ready na sinda, they come to us sa sanggunian and we do oversight meeting. Yung ba ang purpose kang oversight meetings oversight sessions para maaraman ta si mga implementable na may mga resource kung tano na dahil na i-implement. So, and we have a very valid reason to call for a executive oversight meeting, Madam Chair, because now na medyo patapos naman ang ang sa pandemic. So, yun man yan, Madam Chair.
Our next oversight committee is scheduled on Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Sorry. So this will be one of the agenda during the oversight.
Baka dahil pasinda kayan ready, Madam Chair. Baka dahil pasinda ready ang CPDO.
Okay. Honorable
Pero si ibang items, Madam Chair, duman sa mga inot na audit findings, baka pwede tanang i-discuss. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Rosales, before that.
I agree with the suggestion of the Honorable Del Rosario. And siguro, iyan po kayang audit observation memo enjoins the city government to respond within 5 days upon receipt of the memo. So, data na po kayo naaraman kung ano si simbag ninda. Siguro, saro yan po sa pwede tang i-consider and siguradong may nasimbag man po siguro sinda or baka may nasimbag man po siguro sinda.
Anyway, 2 weeks.
Apo.
Baka ready naman si the 2 weeks for our next oversight committee. Honorable Del Castillo.
Madam Chair, since this matter, the root cause of this matter is the audit observation of the Commission on Audit. There are other observations of the Commission on Audit which are contained in the annual audit report. In this observation forms part of those findings enumerated under the annual audit report. So I believe that the concerned offices of the city should brief us of what are their actions on those audit observations and findings as contained in the annual audit report. Because if those findings are not rectified, it will remain as findings. And eventually, Madam Chair, it will have an effect on the opinion rendered by the Commission on Audit on the financial and the actual operations of the City Government of Naga. I don't want that the findings or the opinion will redound or will be adverse, because it will affect our bankability. So, for me, Madam Chair, I believe that the report of the Accounting Office, the Budget Office, the City Planning and Development Office, the City Engineer's Office, as far as infrastructure projects are concerned, in such other offices, which are which their attention is called by the Commission on Audit, renders a report, a comprehensive report to us, so that we will know what happened, what are the implementations of those findings, so that it will not anymore be a finding on the next audit report of the Commission on Audit. So, bako lang ini, Madam Chair. This is only part.
So, gusto mong ilagdag sa oversight,
Yes,
during the
it should be
oversight
a
committee, the audit
comprehensive
observation report. Ito,
Ano na si Arcanist findings? Ano na si ginibukan na City Government of Naga through the
yes.
concerned office? Ano na ang plano na para ma-rectify itong problema?
Yes.
Because kung papabayaan ta lang yan, pirmi na sa ng araw kayan, Madam Chair.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and
Honorable
I also understand that it will take time. Siguro tantang sufficient time, 30 days for them to consolidate all their actions on the audit findings
That's your
of the Commission on
proposal.
Audit.
That's another proposal for the
Yes,
oversight
yes.
committee.
Because
Okay.
this proposal of the Honorable Rosales is included in that audit findings.
Yes. But let us all move for the approval of the proposed resolution of the Honorable Rosales as to be included in the oversight committee, one item. And
Yes,
then the
but
next
if
will
we
be
will approve this now, yang kayang letter B, Madam Chair, construction
Hindi
and
kaya,
operation
sa ano
of
lang
wastewater treatment
what,
facility.
yes.
Gusto kong ihapot, ano na si status kan si wastewater treatment facility which is supposed to be constructed at the Naga City Public Market.
Okay.
We have allocated fund for that. So ano na si status ka to?
Are you going
it
to
cannot
include
be
that
answered.
doon sa request ni
It cannot be answered by the City Planning and Development Office. It can be answered by the MEPO and the City Engineer's Office.
So you also would like to propose a resolution addressed to
No,
MEPO?
siguro idagdag ta na lang igdi, Madam Chair.
Ba't
Since
bako yan siya, no?
ang Pigorulayan
Kaya
igdi is the Naga River
Naga
Rehabilitation
River,
Project.
integrate, oo.
Fund. Yes.
So that will be included?
Yes. Duwang bagay, Madam Chair. First, iniyo, not only the City Planning and Development Office ang dapat mag-report sa tuya,
City budget.
but also the MEPO and the City Engineer's Office. And another one is the comprehensive report of what had been the actions of the City Government of Naga through the concerned offices of all the audit findings of the Commission on Audit.
So first, let's approve the...
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Castillo. But for the information of those concerns, when I was the chair of the Committee on Women, we were called by the DBM ba yun? Na nagtao kang annual observation report, the gender development budget. So we were interviewed and we have to justify why about itong audit report ninda. So baka arog man kayan si ginibo sa ibang mga department, baka pinaapod man and then sinda sinag-justify. I also know that one of those are the Committee on Children, di ba? Honorable Valdemoro, you were also called. And we justify taano-taro ka ito si Samuyang budget. Perhaps it's also at the right time to call the other officers concerned na mention duman sa statuyang ano. Okay, the proposal of the Honorable Rakid Arroyo.
Opponent would agree, maybe the resolution should state
Should include-
that rather than that we be informed within 10 days, why don't we request an information as to how they responded to the AOM on this particular matter? Because they should have already responded. Because the memo said within 5 days from receipt, we have received it long ago. So they should have already responded, and we should be informed, and then we start from there. How they responded to the AOM.
Okay, Honorable Rosales, are you agreeable to the proposal of the Honorable Rakid Arroyo?
Yes,
So
Madam
you
Chair.
will,
Yes. We can just include the suggestions
the
of the
suggestions
Honorable
and
Arroyo.
incorporated into your resolutions. All the observations raised by Honorable Castillo, Honorable Del Castillo, Honorable Rakid Arroyo. So on motion of Honorable Rosales, any second? Okay, second. Approved. Next item.
The subject matter of the privileged speech of the Honorable Mila is the Rakid Arroyo.
Honorable Miles de Rakid Arroyo.
Move, therefore, as I have expounded earlier, may I move that we direct the City Agriculture Office to, in the next session, inform the Sanggunian, present to the Sanggunian the steps it had taken, if any, or the plans it intends to take in compliance with the mandate given to it under the ordinance recently passed on our continuing fight against COVID and other infectious diseases. So I move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
Unfinished business, the report of the Committee on Transport.
Honorable Del Rosario, Chair of the Committee on Transport.
Good morning again, Madam Chair. May I request acknowledgement of the Committee on Transport
The
report.
report is acknowledged.
The hearing was conducted 10 June 2020. There was a quorum, except Councilor Elmer Baldemoro. All the members of the NCPC were in attendance. As to the first item, Madam Chair, first endorsement dated June 5 from the head Trimobile Task Force endorsing the new application for transfer of Trimobile franchise of, may I go to the disposition, Madam Chair, of Olivia Magdalena C. Pentecostes from the deceased Lilian Cuadro, from mother to daughter. As to the disposition, Madam Chair, considering that all documents submitted are complete and in order and duly reviewed and endorsed by the head of the Trimobile Task Force on motion of Honorable Albius and jointly seconded by Punong Barangay Galido and Ms. Cabantog, the body resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod passage of resolution approving the transfer of Trimobile franchise of Olivia Magdalena C. Pentecostes of Zone 5, GSIS Village, Balatas, Naga City, from the deceased Lilian C. Cuadro. Therefore, this is daughter. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved.
Number 2, letter dated March 13 of Mr. Leopoldo P. De Los Santos requesting to change his Trimobile unit to e-trike. As to the disposition, on motion of Honorable Del Castillo, jointly seconded by Honorable Albius and Punong Barangay Galido, the body resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod favorably granting the request of Mr. De Los Santos of number 6 Kaimito, Dayangdang, Naga City, to convert his old tricycle unit with franchise case number RTF NC 191146 yellow into e-trike, and with a directive to choose only from those e-trikes that underwent test run and were favorably recommended by the Public Safety Office and the PNP. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved.
Number 3, the email letter of Mr. Isagani Valenzuela Jr. a resident of Sister Therese, Concepcion Pequeña, the city, requesting to allow tricycle at Diversion Road, National Highway, Roas Avenue. There was a lengthy discussion on this, Madam Chair, as to the disposition. Considering that there are numerous areas in the city that require adequate transport means, the body resolved to take note of the matter and will consider the same during the review of the Naga City Transport Management Plan. The committee is also expressing gratitude to Mr. Sagani Valenzuela Jr. for taking time to relay the sentiments of the residents of Sister Therese to the Sangguniang Panlungsod. In short, Madam Chair, we are not acceding to the request of Mr. Valenzuela. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second?
Number 4, letter dated February 21, 2020 of Ms. Cristina Francia Dakiwag, Mall Operations Manager, Robinson's Land, appealing to allow tricycle, e-trike, and taxicle to cross from Carnation going to Robinson's Place, Naga City. As to the disposition, Madam Chair, the body resolved to elevate the matter to the plenary, considering the number of laws and regulations that limit the movement of trimobiles along national roads and highways. The body resolved to recommend to deny the request. The Public Safety Office, however, is requested to assist Robinsons in the request to have a trimobile waiting area near their mall. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second?
Number 5, letter dated January 17 of Barangay Kagawad, Hilda Roquid of Tinago, requesting for a franchise to be used in Pacol, Naga City. The body resolved to, as to the disposition, the body resolved to defer the matter in the absence of the applicant. Number 6, Madam Chair.
Okay, Honorable Senator Arroyo.
Going so fast. On the concern of Robinsons, I'm just confused with the recommendation because we denied the request, but we also recommended to assist the mall owner for the establishment of a trimobile waiting area near the mall. So which trimobiles will wait there and where near the mall?
Based on the discussion na Madam Chair, Councilor Miles, yung road leading to Carnation Street, so not crossing the street of yung diversion.
Okay.
So the PSO, we are asking the PSO to assist makahanap ng garo waiting area para si mga pasayro dahil kayo harayo man magpag-cross duman sa Robinsons Mall. In Coronation Street, Madam Chair.
So we are recommending that a waiting area be established along Carnation.
We will depend on the final recommendation of on the final suggestion of the PSO kung appropriate ba itong yun lang to si initial na nahiling based duman sa discussion, Madam Chair.
So maybe not assist the mall owner but directing the PSO to recommend to the Sanggunian the identification of an appropriate area. Kasi gustong sabihin ba ko si mall ang ma-determine. Kasi pag sinabing i-assist ang mall owners, hindi ang ma-determine, then i-assist kang PNP or PSO. So I think if we are considering establishing a waiting area near the mall or around the mall, we have to direct the PSO to identify an appropriate area and recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
Okay. Yes, Madam Chair. I think the better suggestion is that one to direct the PSO to identify the appropriate area. So I so move, Madam Chair.
Okay, that will be an additional disposition?
Yes, part of because yung man yan si Pulokan si discussion, Madam Chair. So the recommendation sa disposition, Madam Chair, is that we are modifying the same by way of directing the PSO to identify appropriate area and recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod for appropriate disposition.
Any second?
Number 5, tapos na kita, Madam Chair. Number 6, letter dated February 27, 2020 of Mr. Alberto Darilay, Chairperson, Piston, submitting the certificate of insurance company coverage of passengers of Badja Tri-Wheeler as an upgraded PU Trimobile replacement for Trimobile. As to the disposition, since this is the last document being requested from Piston before the grant of the request, the body resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Palusod to request the Trimobile Task Force to review and consolidate all the documents relative to the said request of Piston and submit the same for final disposition and approval of the Sangguniang Palusod. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? I approve.
Number 7, letter dated February 21, 2020 of Punong Barangay Ramil G. Hob of Mabolo, Naga City, asking for consideration to continue transferring the Trimobile franchise under the names of Isaias Serrano, Florante Calderon, and Emma de las Llagas. As to the disposition, Madam Chair, for consideration of the committee is the letter request of Mr. Ramil Hob of Mabolo, Naga City, asking for consideration to continue the process of transfer of Trimobile franchise originally from the following, based on the records of the Trimobile Task Force. To wit, 1. Isaias Serrano of Barangay del Rosario. Number 2, Florante Calderon of Barangay Triangulo. And number 3, Miss Emma A. de las Llagas of Barangay Mabolo, Naga City. To his son, Lawrence Christopher F. Hob. The deed of sale pertaining to the said franchises are still under the name of his late wife, Judy F. Hob. The units were purchased way back 2009, and since then, they were trying to transfer them under Judy's name. Despite of the chance to transfer the franchises, the opportunity was lost due to the family's dire need of resources to sustain the life of Mrs. Judy Hob, who was then suffering from pancreatic cancer. Mr. Hob, as a solo parent, is requesting that the franchises be transferred to his son, Lawrence Christopher, to provide source of income for their family and for the educational needs of his 2 children. Not to mention the reminders and remembrances of his late wife, which hold great memories of her. Section 7 of Ordinance 2019-093 states that the transferee of the Trimobile franchise transferred in violation of existing ordinances, policies, rules, and regulations issued by the city government may apply for grant of Trimobile franchise under existing ordinances, subject to the following requirements, criteria, and qualification. 1. The transferee possess all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications for grant of Trimobile franchise under existing ordinances. Number 2, the transferee is yet a holder of a Trimobile franchise granted by the city government. Number 3, the application is filed within 3 years from the date the Trimobile was transferred to him or her, provided that if an application has been filed prior to the enactment of this ordinance or the Ordinance 2019-093, the 3-year period provided herein shall commence from the effectivity hereof. Number 4, the transferee has no sufficient means to respond to his financial need other than the operation of the Trimobile transferred to him. And number 5, the transferee declares under oath the circumstances surrounding the means, manner, and consideration involved, if any, in the transfer of the Trimobile franchise to him. Considering that Mr. Christopher Lawrence Hob qualifies to avail of the said pertinent provisions, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Palusod to allow Mr. Lawrence Christopher Hob of Mabolo to continue and or proceed with this application for Trimobile franchises, subject to the existing ordinances of the city, such as the payment of amnesty fee amounting to 55,000 each. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Approve. Okay, Honorable Dan Castillo.
The committee hearing, but I have some reservation on this matter, Madam Chair. First, I believe that not all the requirement as stated in the ordinance has been already submitted. So on that note, in considering further that it's not the transferee who is applying, but his father, I believe that should be corrected, Madam Chair. Instead of Punong Barangay Hob it should be the transferee who should apply. So I move that this matter be deferred and to correct all those deficiencies.
Madam Chair, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The disposition, Madam Chair, is to recommend to Sangguniang to allow Mr. Lawrence to continue and or proceed. This is still subject to the final approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
Yes, but if we will already allow Mr. Hood, Lawrence Hood, to continue with the processing, we are already giving the go signal as if we are already approving the transfer of the franchise from the previous owner to him. My point, Madam Chair, is that since this is a transfer, it should be a transfer from the original owner to Mr. Christopher Lawrence Hood and not to anybody else. So that should be corrected, Madam Chair, so that it will fall under the new ordinance as approved by this body. Ganon nag-circuitos kaya, Madam Chair, hali duman sa original owner, pasiring duman sa ina, ngunyan ibabalyota pasiring sa aki. Mas paray nagibuo na, hali duman sa original owner, pasiring sa aki. Dahil na mag-agi duman sa ina, nagadana. I think that should be the case, Madam Chair. Para on the same token, ibang mga applicants na araw kayo ang sitwasyon. Mapakaray na lugod. Tangarig maging tanos na si mga papilis.
Magiging duwa ang transfer.
Yes, bakong naghali sa original owner, pasiring sa gadana.
Tapos si Gadan, tapos si Nano.
Marikon si Gadan, igwan ng extrajudicial settlement si mga heir. Mayo. So, dapat i-correct na, Madam Chair. I'm not objecting, but I am just saying na dapat para karayon si mga papilis.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's
Madam
my
Chair.
point,
Honorable
Madam
Del
Chair.
Castillo, Honorable Miles Sakidaroya.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May we be informed as to, according to the Honorable Del Castillo, there are requirements that are not met. May we know what are those requirements so that we would already be informed also? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Del Castillo.
That item number 5, Madam Chair. Dahil ko panahiling yan duman sa application. So, for me, dapat fully satisfied si requirements under the existing ordinance.
So,
Aside from what
item
I've
number
mentioned
5,
earlier.
dahil niya
Yes.
pa na-comply.
Yes, yes, Madam.
Under
We have no quarrel na dapat pakalayo, na dapat ma-transfer. But as I've said, it should follow what we have approved. Para mayo dahil kita matuyaw kan si iba na pig-deny ta si application.
So, you're
Thank you,
moving
Madam.
for the deferment of the...
No, Madam Chair. The final disposition is that we are allowing the applicant to continue processing.
Naipamangkal.
So, maagi mangyari sa Sangguniang for final disposition. So still subject sa mabayad sa pag na-comply niya na si ibang requirements. So, as stated by Councilor Del Castillo, ang lacking na lang naman is number 5. Declares under oath the circumstances surrounding the means, manner, and consideration. So this is yung under oath, yung guided by the lawyer. I think Mr. Christopher Lawrence can do that. So, Madam Chair, I reiterate my motion.
Any second?
As to number 8, consolidated report from the PNP dated November 28 and PSO November 22 regarding the test run of the Ropali. As to the disposition, the body received the reports of the PNP and PSO regarding the 8 trike test runs conducted for 5 Ropali units with the following disposition. 1. Both the PNP and PSO in the reports are favorably stating that Ropali units fully complied with the requirements set forth in the Sangguniang Resolution allowing the conduct of test run. Number 2, the body resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to refer the matter to the Tri-Mobile Task Force for their information. Number 3, the body also resolved to direct the task force to submit its final and complete report for all units which franchises had already been cancelled. And number 4, the body also resolved to request from the PNP and PSO of their complete report concerning the impounded Trimobiles at City Hall grounds. I so move, Madam Chair.
Second. Okay, approve. Ay, okay, Honorable Secretary Arroyo.
Yes, before the Chair, because under one of the items, we allowed the replacement of the old style Trimobile to an e-trike. What do we do with the old unit?
Cancel si franchise.
The franchise, of course, is cancelled. My question is, what do we do with the old unit? In other words, what would be our measure to ensure that that will not be used again?
If I recall, in the Ordinance of Councilor Miles 2019-013, may provision duman na pwedeng i-auction ang mga Trimobiles na dahil na pwedeng igamit.
But those are not ours. That's private property.
So, kung dahil na siya, Madam Chair, magagamit, so being private property, let the owner enjoy the...
That's why our question is, how do we get
use?
Yes, how do we ensure that it will not be used again? Remember, it has a motorcycle, it has a sidecar, only that they are replacing it. So unless there's a declaration that it's really condemned already, it's meaning it's not anymore usable, then we are not sure that it will not be used again as a Trimobile.
The normal procedure, Madam Chair, is that we take the franchise,
Yes.
let the owner enjoy the so kung gagamitin ito sa service niya.
No, for us as PU again, because we know that there are so many Trimobiles operating as colorum.
But we cannot really, yan ang sa mga ordinances, we cannot really prohibit na gamiton sa pamilya unless we
No, we're not prohibiting the use for private purpose, but to be used as public utility. Again.
Definitely. It should be apprehended by the authorities. If they are, they will be used transport of passengers with the fee. So, pero kung private use, pwede nilang gamitan yan.
Definitely, no question about that. I'm thinking of a preventive measure. So maybe, Madam Chair, the penalty for use of Trimobile without franchise, if such Trimobile has already been defranchised because of a replacement, I think the penalty should be higher. Not just the ordinary penalty for operating without franchise. So I think we should look into that to discourage it being used again as public utility.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We will consider that in the future
Thank you, Madam Chair.
ordinances related to it. Thank you, Madam Chair. That ends
Honorable.
my Committee on Transport.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Next item.
The report of the Committee on Public Safety.
Again, Honorable Del Rosario.
May I request acknowledgement of the June 11 Committee on Public Safety report. There was a quorum. There is only one item discussed, Madam Chair. The letter dated November 14 of Punong Barangay Jewelin Regmalos of Concepcion Pequeña, Naga City, submitting Barangay Resolution number 2019-11-90 entitled Joint Resolution of the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children, BCPC, and Sangguniang Barangay of Concepcion Pequeña for the approval of the implementation of the first protective yellow zones crossing for children and women at Concepcion Pequeña's jurisdiction. As to the disposition, Madam Chair, we thank the DPWH and the other agencies for coming to the committee hearing. As to the disposition, Madam Chair, the body resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod, 1, to furnish the DPWH 3rd Engineering District a copy of the resolution of the barangay, joint resolution, and to request to submit comments thereon within 15 days from the receipt of this disposition. Number 2, this pertains to the suggestion of Councilor Greg Abunal to request the PSO to finalize the details of the proposed conduct of a dry run in coordination with the PNP and Barangay Council as agreed during the hearing. The dry run being proposed by Councilor Greg is that all vehicles coming from Doña Clara, instead of turning left to Panganiban, should turn right first and look for a turnaround area near Coca-Cola or Shell. And those coming from Coca-Cola, Legazpi, that will be going to or entering Doña Clara, should take first the Rotonda. Then, so yan ang proposal ni Councilor Greg Abonal. And the disposition of the committee is we ask the PSO to finalize the details for submission to the Sanggunian and for the
For
proper
children, women, and senior citizen. Itong pathway.
women and children.
Oh yeah, dahil kabali ang senior.
Siguro, Madam Chair, pag value sa tinampo, definitely the authorities will assist the senior citizens. Actually covered naman. If this will be, kaya nga ni Madam Chair, pigano meaning ordinance ni, kasi pag na-finalize ni, pag nahiling na si Gabos na rudiments ka ni, this will be the first ordinance na mag-provide ng protective yellow zone crossing for children and women in Naga City. So, halatong tala lang sa iba pang mga detail.
Thank you.
So, I so move, Madam Chair.
In a second.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning again.
Thank you, Honorable Rosario. Next item.
The report of the Committee on Appropriations.
Honorable Jill Rosales, Chair of the Committee on APRO.
May I request acknowledgement of the committee report.
Your report is acknowledged.
The committee meeting was held yesterday, June 15. Only 3 items were taken up. On the first item, the proposed resolution of the Honorable Mila Rakid Arroyo entitled Resolution Adopting a Format for the Presentation of the Summary as Annexes A and B hereof, directing the City Budget Office to cause its preparation and recommending the adoption thereof likewise by the different barangays within the territorial jurisdiction of the city to assist in the implementation of Ordinance Number 2017-072. There was a long discussion of this item, Madam Chair, and we have finally decided to divide the House with the motion being carried, having the majority vote. The disposition, Madam Chair, was to recommend to the Sangguniang Panglungsod the approval of the said ang recommendation niyo po, Madam Chair, was to approve the so bako po yan. Sorry. The recommendation of the committee was to approve the ordinance, because the motion was carried, having the majority vote. So may I have the disposition amended, Madam Chair?
Okay, and Honorable Valdemoro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not opposing the entire resolution. I am after only to the barangay, on the part of the barangay. The same sentiments with the Liga representative. So, may I correct, Madam Chair, regarding on the votation, I'm not only the one who against it, it also the punong barangay Li of
Liga
Naga.
representative.
So I'm just having an apprehension on the part of the barangay, but on the part of the city budget, I am in favor of the said ordinance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Valdemoro. Honorable Del Castillo.
Of that, on that mentioned Appendix A and B, what is it? There is a mention in the resolution, in the proposed
Next is
resolution,
A and B.
of an appendix. What are those?
Can we request, Madam Chair, the Secretariat to flash in front the
15, pakiflash.
annexes attached to the resolution of the Honorable Arroyo. So in front, Madam Chair, are the proposed formats of the summary presentation in the annual budgets of the city and for the barangays. And perhaps, Madam Chair, for the discussion, we can ask the proponent to discuss to us the proposed resolution, if proper.
Honorable Arroyo?
Chair, first I'd like to thank the committee for favorably recommending the approval of the adoption of the form as reporting form. First, Madam Chair, that is to implement. So that is an implementation, a tool to implement the provisions of the People's Budget Ordinance. The People's Budget Ordinance specifies the process of coming up with a budget. And once we have come up with the annual budget, iyon na po ni ang forms na gagamiton ta to inform about what the budget is all about. So, bako po siyang, it's not a requirement from the barangays to submit, but they can use it so that they can inform, for example, in the committee hearing, they can inform the committee in terms of this information. Of course, the committee is not limited in terms of what questions they would ask, but these are the information that I believe must be shared in the committee, must be discussed in the committee in compliance with the People's Budget Ordinance. So, first, Madam Chair, bako siyang part kang budget preparation. So, the form is not part of the budget preparation. So, dahil po pwedeng sabihin na dagdag na form para makaprepare sinda ng budget. No, this is the form that will help them present their budget, okay, in a summarized form. Of course, pwede man po nindang i-present in other form, but this resolution recommends this form. In fact, bako po siyang, it's recommending, no? But for us, if we adopt it on the part of the city, if we adopt it, this will be the form that we will use when we report, when the committee renders the committee report on the annual appropriation of the city. For the barangay, this is recommendatory. No? Daita po sinda pigi-enjoin na gamiton ninda yan. But if they use that, then they can really use it so that they themselves will be informed of their own budget immediately at one glance. Siguro po, permitang nadadangog that in the barangays, there are barangay officials who don't know na napasa na nga ni palan si budget ninda. No? And when they are asked kung ano sila man kang budget ninda, sometimes they are not able to answer. With this, makakasimbag po sinda and they would really know and the budget will really guide them. Si question po ni Councilor Baldemoro yesterday, ang sabi niya, dagdag na naman ang trabaho sa mga barangay and they don't even know how to do it. So ang simbag ko po dyan is, kung dai aram kung paano gibuhon, ang simbag po is bakong dai na yan gibuhon. No? Because if something has to be done and you don't know how to do it, then we should learn how to do it. Sabi ko po nga, naigwa kitang budget sa Enable. No? Tano tada ito yung gamiton budget na yan sa Enable? To really help them understand their own budget. Kasi whether we like it or not, ang gapunta po, naiintindihan kang gabos na barangay officials ang sa indang budget. And they have expressed that to us. No? Sinasabi niyo po yan inda sa tuya. Kasuod mga ni, pig-mention po ni Kapitan na kang Dinaga, she said, halos napupunta sa iya, no? As barangay captain, punong barangay ang pag-ibok ang budget. Dahil siya shared responsibility, dahil siya shared authority, no, kang entire council, which is the mandate. No? Ang mandate po baga pag-ibo ng budget is this really legislative act, no? Mandate kang legislative body. So, kung ang problema is capacity, I think we should help capacitating them. So the form, Madam Chair, again, I will repeat, it's not part of budget preparation.
Recommend.
It's part of budget information. Kung ano po ang yaon sa budget ninda, yan ang ilalaag ninda dyan. Because, like I said yesterday in the committee hearing, during the report of the Committee on Appropriations presenting the budget, the annual budget of either the city or of the barangays, these are the information that I would want to know. No? Ano ang comparison ng budget ninda last year, tsaka ngunyan, or in the 2 previous years? Ano ang comparison? Nag-increase ba? Nag-decrease ba? Kung nag-increase, gura ano? Sa increase, ilalaag sa office or non-office? No? Duman po sa third column. Itong sa third column ay third form, yaon po duman itong mga sustainable development goals. Ang sabi ko po, itong first, can we see the third form? The third table?
Yeah.
Yan. Ang first column, ang second column, Madam Chair, is yung baseline. Ang sabi ko, yung baseline will be a work in progress. Data yan re-require tulos na yaon yan dyan. No? But ang importante, kung iga po kitang budget, pag nahamanta ang budget we should be able to identify arin dyan sa mga gigiribuntang iyan ang nagfo-fall under this goal. No? So, nag-iibutan na muna si budget before we will identify kung saan siya nagfo-fall. Dahil kita mapuun duman sa, ini ang sustainable goal, ano sa itong gigiribun dyan. Bakong araw kayan, ini na sinaplano no? Because maya pa man, the 17 sustainable development goals, data pa man talaga siya na i-imbibe in our planning process. Formally, no, systematically, we have not, but we have. Ang kapusta pong program are really in answer to the sustainable development goals. Kaya punta lang siyang i-classify. Pag nag-ibutan na, and then ika-classify ta. But then, sabi ko, that's a work in progress, especially the first column on the baseline data on those goals. Data man siya, immediately i-require tulos. No? But the consciousness should already be there that ang sa tupong ginigiribo, we should see where those programs fall in terms of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So, di ko po talaga nahiling na it's really not kadipisilan, but it's really an empowerment. No? It's an empowerment tool for our barangays, but for the city, once we adopt this, we should be bound by that form for purposes of information. Bako po siyang for purposes of submission to the DBM, but for purposes of information. Para kung halimbawa kita po, haputon kita, kan sa itong constituents, ano ang budget sa pag-address sa particular sustainable development goal, then we can immediately say, makapalong po bagang mari ang budget no? So, dahil kita malilito in terms of direction kan sa itong mga programs for the development that we want in our city. So, once again, Madam Chair, bako siyang requirement para makagibo ng budget. No? It's a form of informing the public what the budget is. Thank you very much, Madam
Thank you, Honorable Marjorie Arroyo. So, motion?
Well, Arroyo, you can make the formal motion.
Before that, Elmer Valdemoro.
Madam Chair, I am for the empowerment of the barangay. That's one of my advocacy. But then on the present situation, the real situation in the barangay, ang nagigibo po ang budget is the punong barangay kung knowledgeable siya. Kung solo yan kang barangay treasurer. And the barangay treasurer has no assistant, no staff na magibo ka yan. With the large transaction ngunyan sa mga barangay, nasisibot na maray na magibo kang budget. Kaya po nga ni, ako komportable na siging dagdag, siging revise ang mga form. Dahil nagkakadiripisilan. This is the reason kaya may mga barangay na nahahaloy mag-submit ng budget. But I am for the capacity training, kung magigibo tayan, mas maray. And ngunyan po na-mention ni Miles na this is not an obligatory, just a recommendation. And it's up to the barangay
pwedeng gamitin.
to follow it. So kung dahil hindi na kaya, dahil man ini hindrance on the approval of the budget. So with that po, I am withdrawing my my opposition to this proposed ordinance. Pero mas ako po, on the part of the city, I am favorable dahil kayang-kaya kang sa itong mga opisina, mga department to submit, and there is a budget office na talagang matrabaho ka ini. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Baldemoro. Honorable Del Rosario.
Madam Chair, kang sugma po sa discussion mi sa committee, medyo halaba talaga si discussion and nagburutuhan nga ni. Ang nag-loss po naman is taning panahon na matrain ta mga barangay officials ta. Ang mga barangay officials ta, mga matitibay man, and kay po lang siguro matanan ng break. And siguro ang i-training dahil lang focus duman sa punong barangay, barangay secretary, or treasurer, kundi si gabos na members kang council. Bako lang tong sa appropriation. Oo. Tangarig na maintindihan nila. Because, Madam Chair, very important ining maintindihan nila. Because aram ko, sinabi ko na sa ugma, nadadangog naman ninda ang Millennium Development Goals. Nadangog na ninda yan. Nadadangog ninda ang Sustainable Development Goals. Pero sa iling ko, bakong gabos sa inda, naiintindihan kung ano ini mga bagay na ni. So, ano mo ni maibababa sa pinaka-basic unit kang governance, yun yung barangay, yun na ni. Igwa kitang sarong magayono na tool, information tool. Kaya sa kuya lang, Madam Chair, bako lang sigurong, kuya rin, gibuntang mandatory sa part kang barangay. Tangarig na, one, mag-adal talaga siya. Number two, kasi normally, Madam Chair, ang hierarchy sa barangay, ang kagawad, nagiging kapitan. Di ba? Ang kapitan, nagiging konsyal. So, i-training ta na siya, duman pa lang sa pinakababa, ang konsyal, nagiging vice mayor. Ang vice mayor, nagiging mayor. So, mas marin na itong, sa baba pa lang, natitrain ta na siya. So, we start their training, evaluation of the skills, sa pinaka-lowest level. And sa importanteng dapat na i-discuss sa inda. So, sa ko, dahil pag-limit, si kakayahan ninda na mag-pursue ng higher skills, talents, knowledge, and i-challenge actually. Ang message ko, Madam Chair, is i-challenge sa sinda na mag-step up. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. The Honorable Miles is also suggesting that the capability building for barangay officials be conducted, and it was also seconded by the Honorable Baldemoro. So, we have, as stated by Honorable Miles Arroyo, we have the Enable program, pwedeng maka-charge man kita duman, and make the proposal as to when the Honorable Miles Arroyo is so instructed. Honorable Arroyo?
Chair, I believe the Committee on Appropriations should initiate it because, Madam Chair, even if the barangays will not adopt that form, the information that is supposed to be contained in those forms, those are the information I would ask. And those are the information I've been meaning to ask. No, nanday ko po siya naihiyapot because I was also afraid that they are not ready. That's why nag-suggest po ako kaini yung form na ini. But whether they adopt those forms or not, the information that are contained in those forms are the information I would ask when the Committee on Appropriations reports the budget of the barangay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Miles Arroyo. So, based on the recommendation of the Honorable Miles Arroyo, the Committee on Appropriations shall prepare the proposed capability building schedule for the barangays. So, on motion of, we'll make the motion.
The proponent, Madam Chair, would prefer to make the motion.
Of the said resolution.
Second. Okay, approved. Next item.
Following the approval of the resolution of the Honorable Arroyo, just a suggestion, Madam Chair, nalingon ko lang po i-suggest kasudma. Since iwa na pong format prescribed, perhaps it would be very helpful if written instructions would also be provided para at also to guide the barangays and also the Sanggunian. Thank you, Madam Chair. For item number 2, letter dated June 4, 2020 of Dr. Fe de los Reyes, Executive Director, Help Learning Center Foundation, Incorporated, seeking renewal of the Memorandum of Agreement between the City and Help Learning Center to ensure the delivery of quality health and education programs to children with disability, as well as provide advocacy and capacity building activities for effective parenting. For this item, Madam Chair, there is already a proposed resolution of the Honorable Baldemoro for the authority to be given to the City Mayor to enter into a Memorandum of Agreement. So perhaps the Honorable Baldemoro can make the formal motion.
Madam Chair, last session, it was calendared, this matter, and the question is whether the 1.5 was already included in the annual budget. The assistance to Help Learning Center was already incorporated in the annual budget of the city, Madam Chair. So with that, may I move, Madam Chair, to authorize the City Mayor to enter into a Memorandum of Agreement between the Help Learning Center Foundation Incorporated.
The motion before the approval. Okay, is that an objection, Honorable Del Castillo?
So, under what item in the 2020 annual budget is that 1.5 million? Because as I understand, it's only 1 million, Madam Chair.
No,
1.5.
it was under the CSWD, Madam Chair. Previously, it was included in the special purpose appropriation, but then all the items under SPA was included in a department. So this assistance to the Help Learning Center was included in the budget of the CSWD.
Okay. So with the confirmation that that the budget is already 1.5, so my query is already moot, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del
Thank you.
Castillo. On motion, duly seconded. This is approved. Next item.
Also, as we discussed this item yesterday, Madam Chair, Dr. Fe de los Reyes also submitted the accomplishment report. So, just for the information of the Sanggunian, perhaps the Secretariat can furnish the members of the accomplishment report submitted by de los Reyes.
Thank you, Honorable.
For item number 3, letter dated March 16, 2020 of Mr. Hernani Soron, requesting for the passage of a resolution approving the charging against the current budget, the financial assistance to Mr. Deodatus Beringela, whose team won 4th place in the Brain Mesh quiz last September 2019. This item was no longer taken up because Mr. Hernani Soron has withdrawn his request. So that ends the committee report of the Committee on Appropriations.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Rosales. Honorable Abunal? Okay, Honorable Abunal, not yet. Before the break.
Even before the withdrawal of the motion, even before the withdrawal of the request by Mr. Soron, I already suggested, Madam Chair, na all these financial assistance that are not supported by documents within 1 month should no longer be granted. Ang nangyari po kayan, ang expense was committed September last year. Naka-complete lang po ng liquidation and everything else March. Haluyo naman na maray. In other words, napaso na nga ni sa budget. Kaya pinapa-charge na ngunyan. I think later on we may have to pass a resolution. If not, well, a resolution recommending to the granting institutions or granting offices na liquidation will have to be made immediately. In fact, tuya nga ni sa mga opisina dapat ginigibo yan eh. Bako lang sa Tagaluas. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abunal. Okay, we take a break. break.